Hello, happy Friday. I hope wherever you are that you and your loved ones are safe and well, that you're having a good week and a good day. I promised you an update, and an update you shall have. Here I am. I am here. I'm okay. I am sore and recovering. They used, well, I'll back up. On Sunday, I really kind of said to my husband, I don't want to do this. I feel like this is a huge mistake, or is it a huge mistake? Knowing that it wasn't, and knowing that I had to, but I kind of felt like I had to get that out there. And my husband said, I feel like we need to, and he said it a couple times last week, I think I put it in the blog, that we just had to kind of shut our brains off and trust, because at some point this was going to have to happen no matter what. They made it very clear that obviously we didn't know why I developed the clot, but having that open highway into my brain, pretty much there was no safety in leaving it open. They weren't guaranteeing you're gonna have another stroke and it's gonna go right up there, whatever, but they were not telling me that I would be safe without fixing it. So it was very clear that it had to be fixed. So he was right. I did have to kind of shut my brain off about it, because I was diagnosed with that PFO when I was 28 years old. I had gone through 28 years never knowing I had that problem. I had back problems, but never knew I had a hole in my heart. And I was heavily pregnant when they did that test. I was dizzy, and my high-risk OB, we were at the hospital every few days for the pregnancy. And so he said, I'm sending you to a cardiologist because I don't like the way this sounds to me. And he went, and this amazing dynamo of a cardiologist, they couldn't find it. They were like, there's something, but we can't find it. She jumped up on a stool and was like, give me the wand. And she did it, and she's like right there, and she found it. And it was just this extraordinary moment of, yay, wait, what did you find? And I was like, wait, all right, hold up. And she monitored me for 3 years regularly. And then after 3 years, she said, I think you're going to be okay. There doesn't seem to be any big problem with it happening that we can see. And she said, so otherwise, unless there's a problem, we won't need to see you again. And so I went 20 years with no issues, and not having to come back, not having to be seen, and it was quite lovely. And then we all know what happened in the last few months. It's been like an avalanche. Like one thing led to the next thing, led to the next thing, and culminating in this surgery. And I don't know I can't predict the future, but it was sort of like when I had to have that spinal surgery. Like, my doctor had been talking to me about getting a pump for several years, and I kept putting it off. I did the trial, but then when they wanted to do the pump, he said to me, your spine isn't stable. And my legs kept dropping out. I've written about that in the past when that all was happening. So they had to do the spinal surgery, and it was like, I was terrified of that. And he said, okay, you have a choice. You can stay the way you are and potentially become paralyzed. And I was like, what the? Or you can get it fixed and have it be stable and try to live a normal life, and you'll still be able to walk. And so I was like, that's a great choice. Thanks. So I said to my husband, I sort of feel like this choice was like that choice, but a heck of a lot scarier, because it involved, my heart. And so it was like, I guess I know I didn't have a choice, but it didn't make it easier. It really didn't. I know I keep looking in the wrong spot, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to get used to filming on this. But so it was sort of like that. And on Monday, I don't usually shout out individual institutions, but Mount Sinai Cardiology, thank you for saving my life. I feel like you did. And when I got to the hospital, I was freaking the heck out, and we had a crazy ride there. It was a little kind of not calming, I'll put it that way. And we got there and we got checked in, and we had to be separated almost immediately. They said to my husband, you can come back at 10 o'clock. She's coming in with us. And I was like, okay, hold up. I don't like this. And then I went to leave to say goodbye to him and give him a hug, and they were like, oh, no, miss, you have to stay with us. So I was like, I would escape if I didn't have to have this flipping thing fixed. But I said, no, I'm just saying goodbye to my husband. And they were like, oh, okay, but come back in. And they were watching me, and I was like, okay, I'm coming back. Let's all calm down. And then, I went in, and the nurses were so great, and everybody was so kind. And it didn't put me at ease, but it put me at ease in a way, because it was like, all right, the nurses are nice. That's a good sign. The techs are nice. That's a good sign. I met the anesthesiologist, and he was super nice. And a PA came in for the cardiologist that did the surgery, and I said, what happens if you can't sew it shut? What do you do? And she said, we do the patch. And she said, I said, so you have a contingency plan if this looks like you can't sew it shut? And she said, absolutely. She goes, your heart is being fixed today. So I was like, okay. And when I went to the operating room, I have never been in an OR that looked like that in my life. It looked like a hardware store of medical. Like every wall, every surface was like kind of scary medical equipment. And I was like, and I've been in a lot of ORs, and I was like, what is happening? What is this? And then I realized it's for your heart. So obviously they'd have supplies. So that made sense. But I said to them, you know, they got me on the table and everything, and they were like, oh, and they were so nice. Everybody was joking and like, you know, putting me at ease. And I was like, I need you to keep me alive. And so I was kind of laughing when I said it, but he said, oh, Mrs. McClintock. And I said, oh, no, I need you to keep me alive. That's what I need. And he said, you're going to be fine. And so then I was like, the longer you lay on an operating table and you're not being knocked out, it's like, so I started to freak out a little bit, and I started to sing, like, you can knock me out at any time, anytime, anytime, like that. And so they were laughing, and I was like, no, I'm dead serious. Knock me out. Just knock me out, and I'll be fine. You know, like, please. And then he said, you're going to feel like stinging. And I thought he meant in the IV, but in my life, I've never had this. My ears felt like they were on fire. I was like, what the hell is happening? And then the next thing I knew, I heard my husband's voice. It's over and it's fixed. And I was like, it's over and it's done and it's fixed. And it was like the best sound in the world because he's an extraordinary person, my husband. And he's been through a lot alongside me. And this was hard. This was truly hard. The last few months have been truly hard for all of us, not just me, for all of us. And my whole family, like we're a very close unit. And like, this was big. This was scary. And it was, the staff was amazing. And when they came in to check me afterward, because I had to lay on bed rest for 4 hours, I had to lay completely flat to make sure that the incision, which is in the top of my right leg in my groin area, lots of fun on that count, was not going to bleed. You know, they had to make sure there was a pressure bandage on it, and they checked it and they made sure I was okay. And when they came in, I said to the doctor, what proof do you have that it's closed? And I guess they had said that it's closed, it's definitely closed. But they did a TEE. They told me they were going to do that beforehand, and I was like, I don't want to be awake for that, just for the record. And he was like, you're going to be out cold. You're going to be asleep. Don't worry. And they did intubate me. He said, it's a little riskier, but we feel we need to do that in this case because we have to do the TEE and everything else. So they did that, and it was wide open when they started. And when they did it, the echo at the end, it was closed. And they knew it was closed. There were no bubbles. And so it was fixed. And it was such a relief. And like my husband and I looked at each other like, thank God, it's closed. It's done. That's done anyway. And for like in my post-anesthesia, like waking up, falling asleep, I was thinking, does my heart feel different when it beats? And how dumb. What a dumb thought. But for some reason I thought, is it going to feel different? Is it going to like skip a little bit or like feel closed? I don't know. But it didn't, obviously. And they, at like 4:30, 4:45, they told me, you know, you're going to be able to go home soon. So I was like, okay. And when hospitals say they're going to discharge you, it technically takes like, it generally, not technically, takes like 3 hours beyond that. I was out in half an hour after that. They were like, or 40 minutes. They were like, okay, you're going to be ready to go. The bandage looks good. They changed it right away and cut the sutures, which was, let me tell you. If I didn't love the doctor so much because he was discharging me, I probably would have slugged him because that was not pleasant. That was not pleasant. But then they let me go, and they told me, like, the funniest thing was when they said, here are the things you cannot do this week. You know, for a little while, you get a couple weeks of rest, but this week definitely not. No hiking, no running, no bike riding, no driving, like, no swimming. I could walk around, but like not running up and down stairs. And so I started laughing, and I'm like, oh, hold up. And we just looked at each other, my husband and I was like, so basically I can just go back to doing what I normally do. I said, I am the least athletic person. I can't even ride a bike. I don't have a driver's license. I am a walker. I live in an apartment, so I do have some stairs, but but the rest of it, you don't have to worry. Because, like, so that kind of became funny. And he was like, oh, perfect. This is great then. So you can just go and rest. And that's what I've been doing. I went out for my biggest walk today with my husband and my daughter. And I'm feeling it. I'll be honest. I'm a little sore. But I just feel so grateful. I feel so grateful for my family, the incredible cardiology team at Mount Sinai, and for all of you for the lovely messages and the prayers and support. That goes such a long way. And I said to the nurses at the hospital, I said, being kind and setting people at ease and like sending a good wish out for somebody is such a beautiful starting point, because so often, you know, they're understaffed or they're rushed, and when people are nice and put out good into the world, people feel that. They really do. And at least I do. So I felt all that goodwill coming with me on this whole journey, and I am dead serious about that. I cannot thank you enough. The lovely messages, the kind words, the check-ins, and if I have not answered you yet, I apologize. I am trying to, I'm not staying on my phone this week because it's, my eyes are doing better, but it's a lot to be on my phone. So I'm trying not to like be scrolling through and typing, and I should have typed this week and I had everything planned out, but I just didn't get it done. And I thought, release it into the universe. Next week is another week. You'll get it done then. And I'll be back to writing and everything and doing what I have to do. But this served the purpose this time. So I'm okay with that. But I am here. My heart is repaired. I'm in a better place than I was this time last week. My family's okay. I'm just very grateful. And I had somebody say something super nice today. A loving family friend said to me this morning that I handle so much, and I handle it well with such a good attitude. And I think, like, after 20 years of dealing with all this stuff, it's super easy for me to, it would be very easy for me to fall apart for longer than I do. I give myself some fall apart moments, but for the most part, I kind of feel like, what choice do I have? I didn't have a choice on this surgery. And I knew that. I griped about it. I complained about it. I yelled. I didn't want to do it. But I didn't have a choice. And when you don't have a choice, it's sort of like, and that's what living with a chronic illness is like. We don't have choices. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying we're all running around like, yeah, I have no choice, so I'm going to be in a happy mood all the time, because that's not realistic. But when you don't have a choice, it's sort of like, this is every day. You know, this is every day. And so I have to use my toolbox of dealing with the everyday. And the last few months since Christmas have just been like hard, and maybe the hardest because it felt like there was so much more at stake. It wasn't just my pain, it was my heart, it was my brain. You know, it was like, my brain is broken, my heart is broken, like, what am I going to do with this? You know what I mean? And I when I said to them during the surgery, before the surgery, I said, your directive is to keep me alive. I need to come out on the other side of this. And I meant that. And I was like, I don't want to put pressure on anybody, but, you know, I have things I need to do. And I have people that count on me. And they were just like, you're going to be fine. And I was like, you better be right about that, because I will haunt you in your nightmares. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I've already rambled on long enough. I send so many good wishes out to each and every one of you, the people that are struggling, the people that are having a hard time, who have not come out on the other side of a good event yet. Every good wish and prayer is going to you guys. But I'm here, and there's a We the Kings song. I happen to love them, and I feel alive. And I keep thinking of that in my head, because I do. Like, I can deal with the pain. I've been dealing with the pain a long time. I can deal with the bruising. It's like one of the most hideous bruise situations ever, but like, whatever, because they fixed my heart, and that's good. So I will leave it there after rambling and scrambling for the last few minutes. I hope wherever you are that you have a low pain, no pain, low aggravation, no aggravation kind of a day, kind of a week, and kind of a weekend to come, because that is what we hope for, that is what we deserve, and that is what I wish for each and every one of you. I'm going to go back and rest, and I am sending love out into the universe to all of you, and thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful. I will see you next week for another video, next week for another blog. Take care, be well, have a good night. Bye.